Hi guys, this is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 23, called The Stars Will Fall from the Sky. In this episode, we're all the way in 2024, and get your Kleenex ready. This is the darkest episode to air on Sister Wives ever. So Garrison passed away last March, and this must have been filmed shortly after. But weirdly enough, they chose to start the episode with two pretty light scenes. So the first one is of Christine having a random family event in her nice backyard with McKelty and her kids, Isabel, and some of David's kids were there. David is throwing this frisbee all over the place aggressively, and the stupid frisbee goes over the fence over to their neighbors, and Isabel is willing to go over the fence to get it, but Christine, which is a very mom decision, is like, no, do not go over. I will go around and get it. We don't want to risk any injuries. After all, Isabel did get spine surgery, but then David is like, I'll help you over, and he's pestering Christine and pressing her buttons, and David pretends he didn't hear her, and he jumps over the fence, says he's a grown man and nobody's going to tell me not to. But despite this, Christine says she's happy with David even when he irritates her, and Isabel says David's meshed pretty well with the family, and her doubts, remember how she was doubting how he was going to replace Kody? Those things were unfounded. First of all, how old is David to be jumping over the fence? Like, is he in his 60s? David needs to sit down and not break his bones over a frisbee. And next, we are at Meri's B&B. So Meri's last bed and breakfast guest just left, and they're shutting down the bed and breakfast for now. So it's kind of a big milestone. She's making big changes to the house. She wants to make like more of a small event venue than a bed and breakfast. She's not sure that a bed and breakfast is what she really wants to continue doing. She never really wanted to do that. She just kind of went with it because that's what it was before. Meri's also focused on dating and says that some people were kind of scared off by her because she was in a plural family and because she's so public. She never mentions the guy she hard launched a few years ago. He had a name like Amos or something like that, and that crashed and burned. So and he never made it onto the show. I'm sure she edited him out. And next, okay, so I see B-roll of a sunset and music we don't really hear normally on the show. And so immediately I'm like, okay, here we go. But they show Meri in an interview room, and then you see cameras. They're breaking the fourth wall here for this scene. And the producer's saying, okay, we're going to talk about the carriage house, blah, 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 blah. Oh, gosh, not the carriage house. And Meri's looking down, and I guess at her phone, and she says, that's weird. Kody's calling me. At this point, yeah, Kody probably never calls her, so this is really unusual. They rarely talk. So the producer asks if she wants to take it, and she's like, no, he can text me if he wants something. But then he keeps calling and texts that it's an emergency. And so she answers it with kind of a scared look immediately, and immediately they cut to announcing what had happened to Garrison. So Meri, in the end, found out in an interview. I can't believe that's how she found out on camera. They didn't really show her really finding out, but still, that must have been really hard. So then they show Janelle in tears, and this breaks my heart. It's just tough to see. And one by one, they show each main cast member kind of struggling to know what to say or to even speak about it. We learned a lot about who told who and who found out when, things that we did not know from the media before. So we learned that Gabriel told Janelle that Garrison passed away, which, adding to his trauma, I can't believe he he's the one who found his brother. And he's also the one that told Janelle they'd passed away. And so that's tough. And Janelle says she doesn't even remember the next few minutes after that, but she just got in her car and drove. We also learn that Christine was told by Hunter, who was sobbing on the phone, and Christine just fell to the floor in her office. She says, they all knew he was sad, but they had hoped that, and she didn't finish her sentence because she was crying, but I'm assuming she means that he would turn it around and get better. Kody says that he was busy consoling his children, and Gwendolyn called and wanted to come over. And when she was over, he just started feeling overcome with grief. I actually really felt for Kody this episode. I'm usually never a Key supporter or a Kody supporter, but in this episode, just the fact that he will never be able to make things right with Garrison as his son is just so painful, and I just feel bad for him for that. Meri went to Kody and Robin's house after she found out, and Gwendolyn was there, and she just hung on to Meri. Maddie was told by Janelle and says, a few moments in your life alter your brain chemistry, and telling your siblings another one of them died alters your brain chemistry. So I'm assuming that Maddie was the one that had to tell a lot of her siblings. And so now they show Gabriel on camera, and immediately my heart just sinks. He's gone through so much. Like, please don't make him recount this on national television. I'm happy that they didn't make him say like what happened, but he just said that Garrison felt deeper than what he expressed, and he talked a little bit about why his brother was so great. And Kody says that at the funeral home where they showed his body for like the last time, he didn't know what to say except, I'm sorry. Christine says that she gave a speech at the family funeral, and essentially she did it without crying until she had to say his favorite movie quote, which is, I believe it's like, to the stars, Bowen, to the stars. It's a movie reference from his favorite movie. And Maddie reflects on how Garrison was so close to moving closer to them in North Carolina. He was just so very close, and I guess that's just something that never happened. But Janelle said that Garrison wasn't a drinker. He didn't even like the taste of it or anything, but he started to drink during COVID, which COVID, as we know, is when things started to go downhill with his dad. And something in the last year apparently really triggered him. And he had other rough nights where he would drink, pass out, and then wake up the next morning. And so, that's just very sad. Very frank conversation from Janelle here. So they decided to bring him to Wyoming to bury him there. Janelle's strategy is to keep busy and keep her mind occupied as much as possible. At this point, Janelle's sister had come to spend time with her in North Carolina, and she's just in tears herself and asks Janelle how she's doing. Janelle says good days and bad days, which usually means more bad days when someone says that. Janelle says, actually she knows he's passed, but she almost forgets and reminds herself, which is so, so sad. And in the last scene, which is super a tearjerker in my opinion, back in Flagstaff, Kody and Robin sit around the fire. We see that Kody has a huge picture of Garrison in his house, the one where he's, wearing his military uniform. And Kody and Robin ask each other, are you okay? Are you okay? Kody talks about how it just wasn't supposed to be this way, and he regrets not making things right. He thought he had more time, and they both agree that people often think this. People think, oh, we have more time, and then they don't. And Kody talks about how he will think about, it's hard for him to think about what life will be like moving forward. And he focuses on what ifs, like what if he had called him? what if he was in touch more, Kody wonders what he's going to do the rest of his life, which is so sad, so dark. I mean, I barely survived watching this episode. I cried so much, which is why I'm congested. So I hope you enjoyed my recap, and we did get more insight. I thought they were just going to say this happened and then kind of move on, but they went in depth, and I think they're going more in depth next week. So, all right, well, get your Kleenex because this is happening. All right, guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more recaps and updates. Bye, guys.